the basic computing era.
The Atanasoff Berry Computer, or in short, ABC, developed between 1937 and 1942 by basic John Vincent Atanasoff and graduate student Clifford Berry at Iowa State College, represent a foundation milestone in computing history as the first electronic digital computer. It introduced concepts and became pillars of modern computing. To its history remains intertwined with controversy and unrealized potential. Atanasoff frustrated by the limitation of mechanical calculators for solving complex, basic education, sought to create a machine that could perform large-scale planar algebra computation. His proposal emphasized solving system of a 29 equation attacks to human computers. Mathematician hundreds of hours manually, the ABC aimed to replace analog devices like the Monroe calculator and the IBM tabulators, which are error-prone and slow.
So let's talk about the ENIAC. ENIAC stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It was the first general-purpose electronic computer, and it was developed in 1946, developed by John Prisper Eckert and John Manchley. So the primary usage of ENIAC was to perform complex calculation and could solve various numerical problems and calculation. So the importance of ENIAC lie in its status as the first programmable general-purpose electronic computer. So this paved the way up for modern computing by demonstrating potential electronic computation and for the inspiring future generation of computers.
In 1951, the UNIVAC, or the Universal Automatic Computer 1, was introduced as the first commercial computer designed by John Prisper Eckert and John Manchley. UNIVAC was a line of electronic digital stored program computers that played a significant role in development of modern computing. The UNIVAC was primarily used for large-scale commercial data processing, marking a shift from scientific and military applications. It gained fame as for predicting that in 1952, presidential election was adopted by the U.S. Census Bureau and businesses like insurance companies. Its efficiency in handling large data sets helped establish the computer industry. The UNIVAC was among the first commercially successful computers, shifting focus to businesses' data processing. It used magnetic tape for efficient data handling and famously predicted it was a successful spurred the growth of computer industry and its integration into various sectors. Thank you.
So EDVAC. EDVAC stands for Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. It is the first stored program computer and it was designed by von Neumann in year 1952. This type of computer can perform basic arithmetic operations like additions, subtractions, and multiplication. It can also process amount of data, making it suitable for scientific and military applications. Also, it can store instructions and data in its memory, enabling to execute without manual rewriting.
Let's talk about the first portable computer, which is the Osborne 1. So, the Osborne 1 released in 1981 by the Osborne Corporation computer. So, the Osborne 1 was important as the world's first mass-produced portable computer, making computing accessible to professionals by allowing them to take their work with them for the first time. It was revolutionary for its portability, designed to fit under an airline set, and for bundling significant software with the hardware and reduced price. The Osborne 1 was a pioneer in mobile computing, setting the stage for the modern laptop.
So let's proceed to the first computer company. The first computer company was Electronic Controls Company, founded in 1946 by John Mauchly and John Presper Eckert, creators of ENIAC. It was later renamed by Eckert Mauchly Computer Corporation. So this company inspired other businesses like IBM, Apple, and Microsoft to create better machines. It also helped make computers more useful and available, from big government use to schools and homes. It created jobs and opportunities that grow the world economy. Without the first computer company, we might not enjoy the technology we have today.
Pre-mechanical age. Pre-mechanical age is the earliest age of information technology. This era is the time before the development of mechanical devices and machines. This age defined as the time between 3000 BC and 1450 AD. This era features manual labor, simple tools, and limited productivity. People of this generation is having a hard time to communicate with each other. They use language or simple pictures drawings known as petroglyphs, which were usually carved in rock known for cuneiform. When alphabet became more popular, more people were writing information down. Pens and paper began to be developed. Later on, people created paper using papyrus plant, and that's how communication by writing a letter gets started. Thank you.
Mechanical. The mechanical age is when we first start to see connections between our current technology and its ancestors. The mechanical age can be defined as the time between 1450 and 1840. A lot of new technologies are developed in this era as there a large explosion in interest with this area. Technologies like the slide rule, an analog computer used for multiplying and dividing, were invented. Blaise Pascal invented the Pascaline, which was a very popular mechanical computer. Charles Babbage developed the difference engine, which tabulated polynomial equations using the method of finite differences.
In addition, mechanical systems and devices have numerous importance across various fields, including industry and manufacturing, transportation, energy generation, healthcare, and daily life.
Electromechanical age was invented in 1840 to 1940. This period is when technology started to look more like what we use today. It marked the beginning of telecommunication. These inventions were very important because they changed how people communicate and paved the way for modern information technology. First is telegraph, invented in early 1880s. Morse code, created by Samuel Morse in 1835, and telephone, invented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876. And also radio, first developed by Guglielmo Marconi in 1894.
The electronic age, which started in 1940 and continues to the present, it's highlight the ENIAC Turing computer that was the first high-speed digital computer capable being programming, was designed for the U.S. Army to calculate artillery firing capable, was massaged in size 680 square feet, 30 sounds, used vacuum tube for calculation.
There are four main sections of digital computing. The first, the era of vacuum tubes and punch cards like ENIAC and Mark I. Rotating magnetic drums were used for internal storage. The second generation replaced vacuum tubes with transistors. Punch cards were replaced with magnetic tape, and rotating magnetic drums were replaced by magnetic cores.
First generation. During the 1940s and the 1950s, the first computers came with some very important but basic technologies. Vacuum tubes were glass bulbs that controlled electricity.
They appeared in this time and acted like switches to do first electronic calculations. They were crucial because they made electronic computers possible even though they were big, often broke, and got very hot. Next, magnetic drums were spinning cylinders that stored data, also appearing in the 1940s. They saved information as tiny magnetic spots. They saved information. They were important as the first way to store computer memory, but they could not hold much and were slow. Machine language was the first computer most basic code and made of just zeros and ones, used in the 1940s and 1950s. Programmers wrote instructions directly using these zeros and ones. It was important because it gave full control over the computer's parts, but it was very hard and took a long time to write. To put information in, they used punch cards and tape paper, which were pieces of card or paper with holes. Used during this period, the holes represented information, and these were fed into the computer. They were important as the first way to get information into computers, even though they were slow and awkward. Finally, the printouts showed the computers answered on paper. This was how results were displayed in the 1940s and 1950s. They were important because they let people see the computers work, but printing was slow and used a lot of paper. That's all.
So, we will be moving to the second generation of computer, wherein transistor replaced the vacuum tubes, where transistors is way more smaller, better version of computer, cheaper, and much way more reliable. Another thing is, a transistor can assemble languages because transistor is from the cryptic binary languages rather than using a zeros and ones from the vacuum tubes. So, it is way more easier for the programmers to input instructions to the computer. So, another one is a transistor is still using a punch card and print out to see to input information and to see the results. So, transistor, the second generations, this transistor is way more better from the game tubes from the first generation. Thank you.
The third generation. The development of this integrated circuit was the hallmark of the third generation of computers. Transistors were miniaturized and placed on the silicon chips called semiconductors, which drastically increased the speed and efficiency of computers. It could carry out instruction in billionths of a second, much smaller and cheaper compared to the second generation computers. So, the miniaturized IC packed multiple transistor diodes and resistors onto a single chip, reducing size and increasing functionality, speed, and efficiency. ICs enable computers to process information faster and more efficient. Thanks to the reduced electrical resistance and increased transistors density. Cost effectiveness. ICs were cheaper to produce the individual transistors and diodes, making computers more affordable. The impact of the computer for the third generation. Increased processing power. Enables computer to perform complex calculation and process large amount of data quickly. Small size. Computers became more compact, making them more accessible to business, school, and homes. Reliability. Reduce the likelihood of component failure, increasing overall system reliability. The microprocessor development, the integration of multiple components onto a single chip paved the way to microprocessors, which further miniaturized computing. Personal computing. The reduced size and cost of the computers enabled the development of personal computers, revolutionizing individual access to technology. So the third generation of computer laid the foundation for modern computing, enabling faster, smaller, and more affordable computers that transformed industry and society. Thank you.
The fourth generation is established in 1971. The purpose of this generation, first, to create smaller and more powerful and affordable computers. Second, enable the development of personal computers. Third, facilitate networking and the eventual creation of the Internet. Why the fourth generation emerged? It's because the fourth generation came about due to the advancement in integrated circuit technology, specifically the invention of the microprocessor. These allowed for a significant increase in computing power while reducing the size and cost of computers.
Here are some examples of fourth-generation computers. 1. IBM PC. Introduced in 1981, the IBM PC marked a significant entry of IBM into the home computer market. It used the Intel 8086 microprocessor. 2. Apple II, released in 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, the Apple II became a popular personal computer for homes and businesses.
The fifth generation for computers focuses on artificial intelligence, AI. It creates machines that can understand, self-organize, and learn. AI is designed to think and act like humans. Parallel processing uses many processors for faster performance. Superconductors, special materials for efficient electricity use. The goal of AI is to easy to use and understand, can manage information on its own. So the example of this is Siri, Alexa, voice-controlled assistant, chatbots, automated customer support, and self-driving cars, cars that drive themselves. So the fifth generation aims to make computers smarter and more useful through AI.